Okay, let's go.
And there we are.
Woo! We're back. Just like that.
Whiskers Gone Wild, take 2.
I've decided I'm going to stay here until this barge gets by and all his wake is done.
Oh, that silly, oh, it's a dollar sign now, so, okay.
No more beeping.
It's fantastic.
Oh, darn. I guess we won't see Chris go insane.
Oh, they just
I
did.
keep waiting for it.
Yeah, I'm going to give this to 1140. I might end up doing the same thing you. I'm swaying so bad back and forth. I have no tension on my lines. If I get a halfway decent sized fish, it's going to just tangle everything.
Well, I'm not going anywhere. There's Mean Gene Squad. Says y'all up late.
We are.
Welcome to Whiskers Gone Wild.
So I'm curious
Two.
who came up with the name.
That'd be me.
Kind of like it.
I'm glad you do. I like it too.
As do I. We got 5 awesome people in here. Thank y'all for coming in, rejoining us.
Is one of them Paisley?
Now, Paige is asleep.
Way past your bedtime.
I forgot to tell Paisley you're going to be on here tonight. I know she'd be sitting in her chair glued to the TV.
I bet. She's going to be so mad at you when you rewatch this tomorrow.
She's going to be like, I don't see Chris. Is he standing up? I don't see him.
That's not funny.
Oh. Oh.
If anybody's got any questions, like I said before, I know y'all have done this before. Hey, Bugman, what's going on?
Buggy!
If anybody has any questions about anchoring or what we're doing this evening, feel free to put it in chat. We'll try to catch your questions. I can only see one comment at a time, so hope I don't miss it. Who won today? That would be Jody and James. They beat me and my neighbor by 10 pounds. We came in second.
And then I came in third by like 3 pounds.
They were right on. He was right on our heels.
I tried.
All
my fish came early.
I
Yeah, so did
almost
ours. What's that, Chris?
I almost beat you.
What'd you say?
I almost beat you.
I know.
My debris back.
Oh, good. I mean, darn. Well, we're glad you found us too, Bugman. Appreciate you coming in. Hopefully we can put a fish in the boat for y'all tonight. We were trying to use what's that app called?
A Riverside
app, and it just wasn't working. So
nope. I do not think we're gonna go with that at this point.
The app was called Riverside.
Yes.
From here on out, ever to be known as Riverside.
Well, it works great for podcasts when you have stable connections at home computers.
Chris's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
There's Uptown Christy Brown. Welcome in, ma'am.
She's up way late.
certainly is.
He told me this morning 11 was her cutoff.
Oh, Chris, my wife texted me and said Paisley is actually under her blanket asleep in her bed.
Oh yeah.
You want to know how spoiled that dog is? If at 3
Do we
o'clock in
want
the
to know or
morning,
do we already know?
well, if at 3 o'clock in the morning she wakes up and she's not covered with her blanket, she will come wake us up just so we can cover her up.
That's awesome.
It's kind of like that beeping you were dealing with earlier.
No, Paisley would never be that annoying.
Bugman said, I wish I could have gone down with Chris, but the guy who lets me catch bluegill in his pond needed help unclogging his drain before the water crested the dam.
That sucks.
And Miss Chrissy said that she just finished her paperwork, so be going to bed in a few.
I knew it.
Chrissy said we have a spoiled dog. Just ran her out of my something. Bed. Yeah, if Paisley, if like, she will whine until I get out of my chair so that she can sit in it.
Wow.
Yeah, that was pretty funny when you were up here at the gathering. She did that here too, in your camping chair.
Yep. And then as soon as
Here
I
comes
get
the
out of my
barge
bed,
wake.
what?
Here comes the barge wake.
Uh-oh. Barge bite. Let's go.
No, I reeled them in because I had to limb on 2 lines. I had to reel 2 of them in anyway. I was like, well, I might as well reel the other 2 in.
Oh, gotcha. Train horn.
Hey, is my audio okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because the wind is absolutely ripping over here at Chester Frost.
There's Sampy. What's up, Sampy?
Sampy!
One of our biggest fans, if not the biggest fan.
I think he's everybody's biggest fan, man. He's always out supporting.
Yes, sir. I think it's tied between him and Gregory Lemon.
That's fair. That is definitely fair.
If I get a bite, I'm gonna have to put myself full screen, but that's gonna be a struggle. So, because I get distracted, but we'll see. I almost lost my 5-foot F.O.A. rod today.
Well, that's no fun.
Well, it was sitting. I had it sitting in the far right rod holder, but I had it outside of the rod holder, kind of at an angle.
Okay.
And my neighbor Chris was with, or Scott was with me, and he was pulling in the 8-pound fish that we had, and he looked over, and that rod was bent all the way across the front of the other 2 rods because that 40-pounder had taken it.
Well, I'm glad you didn't lose your rod.
Me too. Stampy says, here, kitty, 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 kitty.
Yeah, no kidding, man. No kidding.
Here, fish, let's go. Oh, got a bite. baby. I also want to shout out. Hey, there's Roddy Royal. Welcome in, buddy.
Woo.
I also want to shout out Steve Douglas and Monster Rod Holders. I use nothing but Monster Rod Holders on my rod rack. I've got 4 other Monster Rod Holders at home that I'm going to be installing on my boat, and I also have the Monster Rod Holder HD 80 net. So great products.
Agreed. I do not have monsters on my, but I've had them on all my kayaks. Had lots of good luck with them. And I've used them several times on other people's boats. I have fish bites on my boat currently. Speaking of, Steve, anybody heard from him post raffle?
I have not.
There is a lot of fish down there.
Isn't that back, Eddie?
Yep. Now, whether they're catfish or not, who knows?
Right.
I will have to switch out 2 rods because I don't like to suspend when I have floats on because they find they tangle up.
Fish on.
Good
All
job.
right. Gary, welcome in. Gary from Nebraska.
Hey, y'all want to know? I think I know which rig this one's on too.
Good guess.
Is it a flasher rig?
I think so.
Would have never guessed.
Where are you going? He's going upriver. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa.
That's usually a good sign when they're going upriver.
Yep.
Oh, crap.
Hey, you remember to put stuff on solo. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
By the way, there's a sharp looking shirt you got there, sir.
Oh, appreciate that. Oh, where are you going? Where are you going? Whoa, whoa, whoa. He's out at the front of the boat. Oh, crap. Give me a second. I've never had this happen before. He's run up to the front of the boat. Give me a second. Oh, he's wrapped around my anchor line.
Oh. And that right there is one of the biggest issues with anchor fishing. If you're using an anchor.
I got him. I'm coming back around. He's on the other side of my boat now. Holy cow. Oh, pulled my rod out of my hand.
This is when I get out the 6-foot F.O.A. rods.
Got him.
Awesome.
Not a bad fish. Not a bad fish. Oh, good Lord. Might be heavier than I thought. Oh, good gracious. He's a chunker. Good Lord. He just poked a hole in my seat cushion with his barb. Yep.
Uh-oh.
Flasher rig, baby. Fat boy rigs. There it is. A flasher rig by Fat Boy Rigs. I'm gonna get this bait back on this hook and throw it back out. Y'all still with me?
Yeah.
All right, cool. This guy is a all right. Let's get this out of the way. Grab the sling. F.O.A. sling. Get you one. God, this guy's got a belly on him.
Oh, big dummy.
Oh. Ouch.
I'm so smart.
Who's a big dummy?
Me?
Oh, okay.
I just threw my bait away when I didn't need to. Because I'm a big dummy.
This guy's a fat fish, but he's not very long. $35.78
Ow. Nice.
minus 1.35 or 1.1.5 for the so 30 we'll call it a 33 and a half. 33 pounder.
Awesome fish, man.
There we go. All right, you're going back. He gone. Ooh. There's Jeff Beal. Mullet Man said, "Wow, for shizzle. How you doing, buddy?" Chrissy said, "Nice one." Rhonda, thank you. She said, "Nice fish, Dustin." That is the second trophy catfish I've caught today. Trophy size. Well, that's been caught on this boat anyway. All right, y'all, your turn.
Getting ready to drop a live bluegill down.
There you go. That was an awesome takedown. Joshua said, "Where is Lisa? Do y'all need a chat reader?" We were in a different app at the time, Joshua, and she popped out and she's just go to bed. She's had a long day. Sure, Joshua. If you want to read chat, I will. I just put the link in chat, Joshua. If you want to come up and read chat for us, that'd be awesome. Mike Chavez, taste. What's up, buddy? Eddie G, how you doing? People saying Brian B's in here. Bubbles, how you doing, Bubbles? There he is. Y'all come in to see the you hear monster catfish being caught on this channel? Brian B's like, "Ooh, a catfish. I haven't seen one of those in a while. Let me go see what it looks like."
Okay, so right now I'm anchored, spot locked, just outside of this the mouth of this creek in 51.7 feet of water. I have a live bluegill, cut bluegill, and cut creek chub.
Nice. Great bait.
There is a lot of fish down there. Don't know what they are, but there's a lot of them.
Are you suspending?
Yeah.
All right.
Spot lock, still anchored.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm about to do the same thing because I'm actually gonna try to get out of this wind some.
This is probably where I will spend the rest of the night, is just sitting right here. Like, I'm out of the barge ways. There's basically zero current. There is some debris swirling through here, but it hits me. It's not going to damage my trolling motor or anything because it's barely moving. I will
Joshua,
probably
thank you for coming up, sir.
You're welcome.
just sit here and see what happens for the next 6 hours.
Brian B., good evening. How are you doing?
Oh, you're staying out all night, Chris?
Yeah,
Nice.
figure might as well.
Yeah.
Fish Shizzle, how you doing? Good evening.
We're growing scales.
Fishing fucking Mike Chavez. What's up, bro? Hey, yeah, sure.
Hey, yeah, can you hear? Brian says,
hey,
"Hey, Chris,
beep,
beep,
beep.
beep, beep."
Hey, I am so happy that beeping is gone.
Jeff Beal, what's up?
What's going on, Jeff?
So, what was the beeping?
I have no idea. I was the only one hearing it.
It was a figment of his imagination.
Oh, no, it was not.
Fish Fizzle says, how is Chris awake after 9 p.m.?
Well, that's a good question. It is way past my bedtime. I did have an hour nap from about probably 7 to 8. I slept in my truck. I did do one thing right today.
Crappie Day, Darren, how you doing?
What's up, Darren? What did you do right today, Chris?
I went to the casino.
Oh, you won me some money.
I did win some money.
You won me some money.
No.
Oh. Congratulations.
Pretty awesome.
Says it was his wife's client. They didn't know Chris was so that they thought he had fell on the ground.
Shut up, Roger.
Oh, it was your life alert, he said.
Oh, is that what it was?
That's what Brian was saying.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Yeah.
You know, I've never had a fish do that to me before. He hooked up on the trying to remember the nautical terms, starboard and port. Starboard's right side, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hooked up on the starboard side of the boat, swam all the way around to the front of the boat, and then came down I netted him on the port side.
Remember, left is 4 letters, port is 4 letters.
Thank you. I will remember that now. You know, my socks are so wet.
Why?
Because the drain ports in my boat were clogged up when I brought the boat home and it rained so much. There was probably about 2 inches of water in my boat.
Why did you wear your sock feet in your boat when it was wet?
Cooking with Mike Chavez says left port. Jeff says, yep, that's how I remember a port.
Thank you, Mike Chavez. I don't know if I could have had it explained to me any better.
How did Mike remember it?
Left port.
Probably 4 letters.
Yeah, 4 letters. L-E-F-T. P-O-R-T.
I'm more impressed with you every day, Chris.
Stampy.
I guess you could also remember they both end in T.
Correct.
That is correct.
I mean, so can starboard if you smell it wrong.
But right ends in T too, so that doesn't work. So it's got to be the 4 letters.
Jeff says it's rocket science.
Yes, it is.
Big Bill and Catherine catfishing. says, P for passenger safe.
Side.
Hey, Rhonda.
P for passenger side.
Count of letters will help me when I do not know left from right without holding my hands in front of me.
Yep.
Miss Rhonda, good evening.
So Joshua, what are you doing up so late?
I just got off my crew on Saturday night.
Ah, that's right. Y'all catch any fish?
John caught some before the bait. Possum was Possum isn't able to fish right now because he hurt himself.
Oh no.
And then Don R is a fish. He went.
Gotcha.
You know what I hate?
What's that?
When you lost a buoy.
You know what else we lost?
What?
Joshua.
Oh,
I was wondering if he'd be able to stay in. He was cutting out pretty bad.
Yeah. There he is. Welcome back, Joshua.
Thank you.
trying to get back
It's
here
coffee time.
behind this island. Get out of the wind a little bit.
Coffee
Hey,
time. Na-na.
What in the world was that all about?
Coffee time.
who knows?
Oh, coffee time. Got it. Oh. Dang it. Missed that one.
At least somebody's getting bites.
I'm kind of glad I came over here. This is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. Was set up in this area and just sit here for hours, just because there's always fishing.
Right.
Tonight, I'm going to sit here, and if we don't catch anything, I know not to ever do it again.
There you go.
That's
Lesson
fair.
learned. That's what fishing's all about. Learning your river, learning different things, learning lessons.
Oh, I've learned my lesson on this river. Stay off of it.
Fishing, cooking.
Apparently, you haven't learned your lesson.
Also remember, boats don't have floors.
What do they have?
What?
Decks.
Decks?
They have decks.
Technically, you're right. Yeah. You're
Who
technically
said
right.
that? Joshua, who said that?
Let's see. Brian B said that they have decks. And then Fishing and Cooking and Mike Chavez said, also remember boats don't have floors.
I thought it was somebody smart that said that.
Definitely wasn't Brian B.
I was thinking it. You said it. Just, we love you, buddy.
That's why I said it, because I knew you were thinking it.
What time we got, Joshua?
It's 11:57 my time.
Thank you.
I concur.
But do you agree?
I concur. Oh, coffee's so good.
Fishing with Rhonda said, howdy, Mike. Brian, that won't help. I even need the pictures when it, Maps is telling me my directions. LOL. Fishing and cooking with Mike Chavez says, I'm Navy. Also, uh, I work in the shipyard.
Okay.
And then Brian says, technically, it wasn't a question. Mike is trying to teach y'all something.
Well, he did.
Let me tell you something. You know what that's from?
I don't remember.
From Living Color. Fire Marshal Bill.
Oh, there you go.
Let me tell you something.
Guerrero Bird says, TSW Dustin with a pound sign.
Is that Greg Burgess?
I think so. No, Guerrero.
Guerrero.
Oh, Guerrero Bagre.
Guerrero. Bagre.
What's up, Guerrero?
I can't do the tongue roll thing.
Guerrero.
it's hard.
Grrr.
Arr. Guerrero Bagre.
I can't
What's up,
roll
buddy?
my tongue. I have to do it in my throat. Grrr.
Arr. Thank you all so much for coming in tonight.
Do I dare put the Bimini away?
Yes. You don't need no stinking Bimini.
I've been waiting until I don't see that heat lightning anymore.
Yeah, mine's moving off farther east, so I think I'm good. But I'm still gonna stay right here because I caught a big fish here.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to leave a spot when it produced for you.
Absolutely.
It would be nice to have this out of the way. That's faux show.
Brian said, heat lightning doesn't hit the ground.
Brian, let me do my thing. Makes me feel bad.
However, Chris wants to fish. That's why he's gonna fish.
Well, now I got to move the bait bucket. Move the bait bucket. Move the net.
Brian B says, especially as low as Chris is.
Shut,
Oh,
Brian B.
geez.
Fishing with Big Mike says, howdy, y'all.
What's up,
What's up,
Big
son?
Mike?
Nah, nah, nah.
How you doing? How you been doing?
How'd that rod get snagged? How's that possible?
Here, kitty, kitty.
Hey, kitty, kitty.
Everybody saying hello. Everybody back.
So it seems when for next week's show, whatever style of fishing we do next week, we'll talk about it for probably the first 30, 45 minutes, take any questions, and then we'll just fish.
Yep, that's what
There
sounds
you
like.
go.
Hey Dustin, Didn't you win something from the Steve Douglas raffle?
I did. I won $200 cash and then an F.O.A. rod,
Nice.
which I turned around and took the $100 instead of the rod from James and donated the $300 back to Steve.
I see. That's nice.
Like I said, everybody was so generous to us and me and my family when I was hurt. So
Yes, sir.
I felt it was only the right thing to do.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm at the end of this point where the creek mouth comes around and bends really hard, so I'm dropping baits here. Doing the same thing Chris is doing. I'm out of the wind now, so. But I'll be going from 6 rods down to 4 for anti-tangle reasons.
Yeah, I've only got 5 rods out just because I didn't feel like fixing my line on the other one I broke this morning.
Yeah, whenever I'm suspending baits, I only ever use 4 rods.
Yeah.
Try to keep that distance between them.
However, unlike Chris, I'm leaving the floats on mine.
I can't do it. They tangle up. And it drives me crazy.
Well, I'm also on the lake. I won't have a constant twist.
Are you just down from Chester Frost?
We're on the other side of the hill from where we camp at.
Okay.
At the end where you go into the bay.
Oh, okay.
That submerged island that's out there, both ends of that submerged island are real good places to set up, do what you're doing. Telly and I caught a 30 and a 40, I think it was, spot locked at the end of that island.
Yeah, right now I'm just trying to get out of the wind. I don't really want to go too far out in the main. Don't want to go too far out in the main channel with no motor.
Guerrero Bagre wants to know what everybody's using for bait tonight.
I have bluegill and creek chub mainly. I do have some, no. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've got that's in the bait cooler. All mine's alive, but the bluegill, I've cut the bluegill on 2 rods. I've got cut creek chub on 1 rod, and then I've got a live bluegill over here.
What about you, Yak?
I got cut bluegill and cut gizzard shad. I have threadfin too, but I'm not using threadfin right now.
I've got fresh gizzard shad I caught right before I came out, or I got on the water. First thing I did is threw the cast net, caught 4 gizzard shad, and then that was all I needed.
Hey Dustin,
Yes, sir.
I'm also a firm
I-
believer that fish is best.
I used my new 12-foot today.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
How was it?
Good. It casts like a dream.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
I bought a 1,000 size reel for it.
Oh wow. Okay.
You would think the catfish would come through this every so often. There's
It,
so much life down there. It's unbelievable.
is there a lot of bait where you are, Chris?
I don't know what that is down there below me. It could be bait. It could be carp.
Because
It could
normally
be
where
gar.
there's bait, there's catfish.
There's definitely bait in this creek. I'm right outside. I'm right on the mouth of this creek. So
That's the third takedown I've gotten that goes down, and as soon as I get to it, it pops back up.
Turtle.
get to it
Possibly.
faster.
Yeah, this is a nice spot. I'm out of the wind. I'm only using half of a speed on the trolling motor, so I should have enough power to get back to the dock. So I'm having to paddle all night. I'm in what
Hey,
should
Anthony,
be a decent traffic area. I have marked fish in all directions around this area.
Anthony,
Sir,
were you in Dustin's show the other night? Did you know I bought a new boat?
I did not know you bought a new boat. No.
I bought a brand spanking new boat. It's going to be delivered June 26th.
Nice. What'd you get?
Delivered to who, Chris?
Delivered to me.
Where are you going to pick it up at?
Oh, Tractor Supply.
What?
The Sun Dolphin Pro 120.
The kayak.
Are
No.
you
No, no, it's a very, very small. It's a 12-foot bass boat, basically.
Okay.
But it's going to be a 12-foot catfishing machine on my little rivers right around my house.
Oh, okay. I got you. I was about to say, what's the point of it? That was my next question.
It's a plastic boat.
Yeah, I get that. I feel that on a deep personal level. I do miss my kayak.
I'm going to sell our kayaks.
Well, now that I have Shayna and Josie fishing with me, this is definitely the way to go.
I have two Old Town Sportsman PDLs, 12-footers.
They're good ones. I had that Hobie, and then before that, I had the Perception, but the Perception was a paddle kayak. I do not miss that one as much. Although my first time flipping a kayak in January in really cold water was on that kayak.
My kayaks have been garage kept since we bought them, so they're like brand new.
Nice.
Once again, got a hit, and it popped up before I get to it.
So that new boat that I bought, I need to give proper thanks to Horseshoe Casino for buying that boat for me.
So you won that boat.
No, well, I won the money to buy the boat.
I got you. Well, I hope it works out for you for what you're trying to do with it. Now you're saying small rivers by you. I know you said the Ohio is the Yo-Yo River. What are the other two?
Oh, I've got so for me to get here where I'm fishing today is an hour and 40-minute drive from my house. I can be on some rivers around my house in 10 minutes.
Nice.
But I can't launch this boat on those rivers.
No, I got you.
Hey, Chris, explain why you can't launch that boat on those. Yeah, explain why you can't launch that boat on those rivers.
No ramps, right?
Well, there are some ramps, but to launch a boat like this, just too shallow.
I got you.
Either you can't get the boat off the trailer at all, or if you back it in far enough, you're going to back off the end of the boat ramp, and then you're not going to get your trailer back out.
I got you.
Fishing a cup with Mike Chavez said Chris must have hit it big.
And in the last 3 months have been very, very good to me at the casino. Very, very, very good.
Very nice.
Today was very good at a casino I'd never been to.
You're gonna have to teach me your secret.
I can tell you the secret right now.
Okay.
Push the button.
You're gonna be one of the first people kicked out of a casino because you're cheating at slot machines.
Pushing the button.
Yep.
He's pushing the button wrong.
He's gaming the system.
I've most of the money I've won in the last 3 months came off Keno. Today it was all slots.
Is that why you didn't get a long nap?
Maybe. And today was the good way of winning it all too, because I didn't win any of it all at once, so there was no taxes involved.
Brian B said, "Yeah, he did. He sent me $100,000 last week."
Who said that?
Brian B.
Brian B. don't know what he's talking about. I wouldn't send him $100,000 if he'd sent me $150,000.
And then Mike Chavez says, 100,000 what?
Lashings with a wet noodle.
Brian can't even count to 100,000.
I don't think so.
Other than 100,000 excuses as to why he doesn't go fishing.
There you go.
He should write a book.
How many excuses can I come up with about not going fishing?
Bad emojis. Mm.
Well, that fish wasn't interested in my bait. It swam under all 5 of my rods.
He did what?
Had a fish swim under all 5 of my rods and got no hits.
You know, you were talking earlier today about not marking any fish, but you were catching a lot of fish.
I was.
I like it when I see fish on the graph because it tells me that there's life there, but I do not look for fish.
Yeah, I don't either normally. I look for bait balls and that's about it.
I always tell the story when we went to Virginia, first time we ever took the boat to Virginia. Me and Telly and LG Bass went out on Lake Gaston, And we caught a lot of fish dragging baits, and we never saw not one single fish on the graph. But we caught a lot.
Brian says, I was fishing last week.
Right. And then you woke up, right? Was it a nightmare or a dream?
And then Mike Chavez said, did you go to the big ponds today, Brian?
Brian got kicked out of Bass Pro Shop for trying to fish in their ponds.
His county fair must be going on. He was playing that fishing game at the county fair.
With the magnet?
Yeah.
I think he was fishing in his dreams.
Or as he calls them, nightmares.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, I really wanted the big motor to work, dang it. I really wanted to go to Suck Creek today.
I've been there.
Well, I love it there. It's probably that's my favorite anchor fishing spot.
I would appreciate it if you called it by its true name.
Oh, here we go.
It's the H&H Gorge.
The H&H Gorge. Okay, all right.
He said parade, not pond.
Brought to you by Vinegar.
Vinegar. I thought about doing a follow-up to that. I was going to be like, from the makers of Vinegar concentrate, and just be a big jug of vinegar.
Brian said, I was backstage with Curtis, Rustic, and Lou and J-Dog.
So what you're saying is it's not on camera.
That's what I'm hearing.
Man,
Yeah,
we had
Anthony,
go ahead.
go ahead.
I was gonna say we put my neighbor and I, Scott, we put a whole shad on the hook today.
Yeah.
And something took that, and I went up to reach to grab the rod out of the rod holder, and it was pulling drag so hard that the line came across my thumb and burned it.
Wow.
Ow.
And I got the rod out of the rod holder, but as I was reeling it in, it popped off.
Striper, you think?
No, I think it was a big catfish, but I think it just had 3/4 of the bait in its mouth. It never got to the hook.
Right.
Brian B says, I have a witness and a short of the first fish caught on the Wiggle Master.
You're trying too hard there, buddy. We all know you have a green screen.
Poor Brian.
I'm gonna check the bait on that rod since it's got hit like 4 times.
Yeah, I've not had a single hit, man. It might just be one of those nights. Told Chrissy I probably caught all my fish this morning.
Oh, got it. The headpiece. I'll tell you what, I am going to sleep good tonight when I get home.
Yeah, me too.
Oh. I've been up since 5 o'clock yesterday morning.
Wow.
And
Yeah, I
then
still
came
got
out,
that.
came out and fished in that god awful heat today.
Yeah, it was hot for sure.
Did you win?
Got second.
Nice. Who got
He got,
first?
it was a
James
5
Jody.
fish. It was a 5 fish limit, and he came in second place with 2 fish.
It's not my fault our first fish was 41 pounds.
I know.
Who won first place?
What's that?
Who won first place?
James and Jody by 10 pounds.
Yep.
James and Jody had 60-ish pounds. Me and my neighbor had 50-ish, and then Yak came in at 47.6, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
Brian B said, "That sucks. I'm relaxing in bed, watching and listening to y'all."
Well, we appreciate that, Brian.
Only because he's afraid to go to sleep.
Might have another nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really sitting here trying to think the last time I saw Brian B. fish. It was a hot minute ago. The last time I saw him fish, he was fishing with Haz on a team. He was fishing with Haz on a team thing
Wow.
That
that I
was a
was
long
in.
time ago.
Yeah. Trying to think what the term of that was. I want to say it was the Biggest Loser. I think that's the last time I saw Brian B. fish. Ever since, I've only ever seen him host and stuff.
Yep, he retired. Brian wanted to be fishing.
Oh,
He's semi-retired. He can come out of retirement anytime.
good.
Fishing's like riding a bike with training wheels. I'll never forget how to do it.
It says, "Yep, Yak will be removed from the pro staff ASAP." Finally,
Oh, I forgot Brian was pro staff.
That's because he's been retired.
Just kidding, Brian. I'll stop picking on you now. Brian B is a great spokesperson for F.O.A.
For sure. He's a good dude anyway.
Well, I wouldn't go too far.
I have no problems with him.
Oh, neither do I.
Until he gets me kicked out of the pro staff, then I might have an issue then.
Brian ain't got no pull.
If I don't get a hit here by 1 o'clock, I'm gonna drift further back here. There's another hole or another side to this point. I'm gonna try it.
nice.
I'm sitting right here.
I'm sitting right here as well.
I feel so safe in this spot. I wouldn't be afraid to fall asleep right here.
I'm staying right here, which is not the same right here that Chris is staying.
Brian says, shut your face and shut your face, mouth, Christopher.
That'll be $10, Brian B.
He takes Venmo,
Trademarked
Cash
it.
App, PayPal, and Zelle.
I've trademarked that saying.
I know it's an oxymoron, but I would kill for some live baits right now.
I got a whole bunch.
I don't have any.
I tried my best to go this week, but I had to work overtime every day this week. So the one chance I did get to go, I didn't catch any. And unfortunately, the live bait selection of what you can buy down here is not great. There's one bait shop around here that sells a thing called a salty.
Yep.
Those things I like those, but they're much cheaper to order online and get shipped to your house.
They're basically like a black goldfish, right?
Yeah, they were bred to live in brackish water. That was the reason they got invented in the first place.
So what are they crossbred with?
I don't know. I didn't go that far into it. I just know they get to be the size of a. They can be really big, but the biggest I've seen for sale is about the size of a, I don't know, palm of your hand ish, and they're very active on a hook.
I saw something talking about crossbreeding. I saw something an article about the snakehead
Uh,
has actually crossbred with the largemouth bass.
really?
Yep.
That's the first I heard of that one.
It happened here in Virginia, up in Northern Virginia area, I believe.
Definitely something I want to fish for someday. Just to say I did. Well, I can at least confirm this is a decently trafficked area.
So, Yak, what is the water temps there in Tennessee?
79.5 right here at the mouth of this creek. This bay, I guess, really.
Yeah, we're sitting at 84 and 84.9.
How is your water warmer than mine?
That's a great question. It has been all year.
Okay.
Fish on. Oh, never mind. I was gonna put that back down in the rod holder.
The boy who cried catfish.
Oh, he was there. He just popped off. I will say that I feel much better now that that lightning has moved off.
Here.
Yak, are you doing anything special for Father's Day tomorrow?
Yeah, taking my wife down to her friend's house to get our diaper bag that we left at Disney. It's got my EpiPens in it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I made it all the way back to Tennessee, and I was unloading the car and went to bed. And I got up the next morning, and I was like, "Where's my EpiPens?" And I'm like, "They were in the diaper bag. Where's the diaper bag?" Couldn't find it, and I wasn't gonna go back in the room and try to turn on a flashlight and look for it. I didn't want to wake her up. And then I texted her. I said, "You know where the diaper bag's at?" And she's like, "No." That floor in that room was textured, so I mean, it was. Don't get me wrong, it was obviously swept and clean, but it wasn't like immaculate. And that diaper bag is almost like it's pink, but it's got like a lot of white in it.
Right.
So I didn't want to sit on the floor and get it dirty or anything for her. So I was afraid she'd fuss about it. So I set it up on the top shelf above my suitcase. I was working on everything. And I never looked up again.
That happens.
Yep. They offered to ship it, but the EpiPens wouldn't make it through the shipping process because then once it gets above, I want to say it's like 90 degrees, it kills whatever's in it.
Oh wow.
It's weird because I can't get them too hot, so I can't leave them in a vehicle, right?
Right.
I can have them outside somehow, and they're okay, but I can't get them too cold either. Otherwise, they don't work. I don't know. Oh, I did find a store that has Alpha Gal Safe Bacon.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm gonna have to try it.
What is it?
I got bit by a Lone Star tick, so I can no longer have. I have Alpha Gal syndrome, so I cannot eat any kind of mammal meat at all. I can eat fish and I can eat birds.
Or anything made with any kind of mammal byproduct.
Right. Well, it depends how bad it is. I can drink milk and I'm okay, and I can eat cheese and I'm okay. Some people aren't.
Right.
But yeah, so my mom is up in Michigan, and one of the girls they went to school with, her sister or something has it, and she's the one that found the store that has. It's obviously it's got to be some sort of genetically modified something or other. I don't know how that works, but yeah, I might have to order it and see how it is. I miss bacon so much.
So when did this tick thing happen?
Back in April.
Oh.
Well, I say April. April's when I found out I had it. My brother's birthday was the 14th, and I think it was the weekend before that. Went to my parents' house. We had a cookout, and I had some brats, and then I was in the hospital that night. The way that works, you're not actually allergic to the tick. You're allergic to the reaction between what the tick puts in your body and the reaction to meat protein. that chemical breakdown is what you're allergic to. And man, I've never had hives that bad in my life.
Mm.
I mean, it was like a sheet, 12-inch block wide, and all the way up from my knee, all the way up to my chest, basically on both sides of my body. It was awful.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah, I would never wish that anybody.
Well, I'm glad. Did they have to run tests to figure out that's what it was, or?
Yes, there is a blood test that you can get done by an allergist to determine. They measure that whatever that enzyme or whatever the tick puts in your body. They measure that, and the test goes from 0 to 100. Most people that get it, they test somewhere between 30 and 60, according to the doctor I went and saw. Mine pegged out at 100 and never stopped. So they don't know how much I actually have, but the test doesn't read any higher than that.
Wow.
So he told me not to come back and get tested again for a year because he thinks I'm gonna be at least 2 years before I can eat that stuff again. But here's the kicker: you can get bit by that tick again, or same species, and then have to start over again.
Yep.
I think he said he's had 3 patients that's happened to recently, where they were on their way out, they were getting their last couple tests done, and all of a sudden their level shot up again. Now he did say most of them were hikers, and that one particular, the end of March, beginning of April, I did go fishing by a creek over here, not far from Chester Frost. I was trying to catch some suckers, and I was definitely pushing through trees and undergrowth and stuff, and I'm guessing that's where I got it from.
But why were you trying to catch Brian B?
Suckers are a bucket.
He's probably cuddled up with his whoopee and passed out by now.
Maybe. Rolling in his bed. Oh, fishing. Oh no. Oh.
It's so weird fishing in this little back eddy thing because 20 minutes ago the boat's facing the other way because that's the way the current was going. Now I'm
Right.
180 degrees because the current's going this way. It's almost like being on the tidal river every 30 minutes.
Yeah, the only tidal river I ever fished was Crystal River in Florida. And my experience wasn't bad. I caught some fish, but the second day I don't know how this happened, but he went to turn on a boat and it got the top post of the battery hot and it snapped off the battery.
Oh wow.
So we're like, hey, we'll just use the trolling motor and we'll just ride it with the tide out and back in. Well, whatever source we used to get the tide times was not right. So yeah, we got out to our spot in 45 minutes, which isn't terrible, right? We tried fishing it and whatnot. But coming back, when the tide was still going the wrong way, yeah, that was like 3.5 hours back, and we had to walk over oyster beds and drag the boat across a shallow flat. And did get to see some dolphins. That was kind of cool.
We need to come fish a real tidal river here in the James.
I wouldn't mind it, that's for sure.
I'll tell you that the sections of the James are different depending on like here where I'm at, the tide doesn't really. It's still considered tidal, but the tide does not change. Like the direction of the water flow does not change on this section of the river. It's kind of like a bathtub. So the tide that comes in just raises the water. It doesn't change it adds to the volume. It doesn't change the direction.
I got you.
But the farther you go down river, like you'll have incoming tide, outgoing tide, but then you'll have slack tide on both ends of those where the water is sitting completely still.
Makes sense.
Sometimes you have a super tide, which fills the parking lot at one of the local boat ramps here, and it puts the water where in the boat ramp where I launched tonight. It'll put it 5-6 feet above the boat ramp, like above the concrete ledge there.
Yeah. So was that boat ramp put in on purpose that way, or is it something that's changed over time?
I honestly don't know. I mean, of course, you can't control what happens out west. So when actually the tide that I was talking about doesn't affect the boat ramp up here. It's more so when there's a lot of rain and flooding out west that comes down the river.
I got you.
Then that's when that water up over there gets really high. Gar.
All right, guys. I'm gonna head to bed. I'll see you guys when I see you.
Thanks for coming up to read and chat, man.
All right,
You're
Josh.
welcome.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of your weekend.
You too.
Thanks, bud.
Good night.
Good night. We still got 19 awesome people watching us. Thank you all so much for sticking around. If anybody has
Yeah.
any questions or any comments about anchor fishing, please throw them in the chat and we'll do our best to answer or read the comment. Oh, I'm so tired.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna end up sleeping pretty good too.
Chris, you doing anything fun for Father's Day, or are you sleeping?
Not going to the casino.
Okay.
I was gonna fish possibly again tomorrow afternoon, evening, but not if I can get the motor run.
Yeah, we got more thunderstorms rolling through tomorrow.
I'm sure we do here too. If I'd done it tomorrow, it probably would have been something like, I don't know, trolling jigs or something for white bass or crappie or something, just to have some more bait because I'm starting to run low.
Gotcha.
I gotta fish the Top Cat thing from Catfish Weekly on Monday,
Oh, okay.
which I'll be dragging because that's all I can do if I can get the motor running. But whatever. Honestly, I'll probably drag this creek right here because it's intriguing to me. It's a weird shape. It's kind of like it. And I've never dragged it. So
Yeah, I got next weekend. I'm happy I don't have to worry about bait because it's the chicken tournament.
It's the Bok tournament.
I actually like using chicken. I will say one of the craziest stories I got is from using chicken. I was fishing with Bob and I hooked into a fish and it spun the boat around 3 or 4 times and started dragging us upriver where it got me in a tree finally. Still have no idea to this day what it was. But I'm assuming a catfish. I don't think it was a sturgeon or anything. Well, I say that. I don't know. Do sturgeon eat chicken?
I don't know.
If they mistake them for mussels, they might. Which is why.
Yeah, you know,
Which is. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I never really made the connection until recently about the whole chicken versus mussels thing.
Well, that's my theory. That's
No,
why.
it makes perfect sense. And you're not the only one that thinks that. I actually popped up in a video. Yeah, I'm trying to think who was thinks the video. It might have been Dieter Melhorn's video, one of his videos. He was talking about it. That he likes throwing chicken every time he's fishing around any kind of oyster beds or mussel beds.
Yep.
And we got a ton of them here on the Tennessee River, so I mean, it makes perfect sense why it works so well here too.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of mussel beds here on the James. We used to have some up here in this part of the section of the river, but they're all gone. They tried to repopulate them, but it just didn't work.
It's too polluted.
Yep. Well, but that's why they tried to repopulate, because mussels clean your water.
Right. Well, one thing I learned from I did an interview with a guy from, where was he from? He was from Texas. It was the I can't remember the name of the place he worked for. It was something out of Austin, Texas, and he was talking about when they did a restocking program too. That he said that the biggest issue with restocking mussels is that you have to stock a fish that they breed on first, because most mussels have to attach to a fish in order to breed or repopulate themselves.
Oh, huh.
That's the reason why the zebra mussel is so dangerous, because the zebra mussel just needs water in order to breed, whereas the other one, most of the American freshwater mussels all need certain species of fish, and what they do is they attach to the gills of said fish,
Gotcha.
and that's how they do their business. I'm like, that's different, but I didn't know that. Never even occurred to me that was a thing.
You don't know what you don't know, right?
Exactly. I've learned a lot doing that podcast.
Brian B said, "What's an anchor?"
Your boat? Does he even have a boat? Does Brian even have a boat?
I
No,
think so.
E has a boat.
He has one.
It's E's boat.
Gotcha. An anchor is a thing that holds you in place, Brian. Mike Chavez says there's a lot of storms tomorrow. Yeah, we're supposed to get some thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon.
I
All
really
that
think I'm
was
gonna.
under this boat. None of them was that.
I really think I'm gonna make another install point for this 360 light.
Brian B said, "What's a boat?" Might be a little over your head, Brian. We've only got an hour and 10 minutes left on the stream. I don't think we have time to explain it to you. I think it might be time for me to freshen up my bait for this last hour.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I got two bigger shad, and I might go big baits this time. Because I think our males are coming off spawn. Because the two big fish I've caught today, both of them, the one we caught this morning, the 41, and the one I just caught, both males, and both their stomachs were huge. They were gorging.
Right.
I think ours are just starting. My water temp is 70.8 right here in the mouth of this creek.
Wouldn't surprise me. Still blows my mind that your water temperature is warmer than mine, Dustin.
Yeah, Austin and I were talking about that a couple weeks ago.
You know, it's something I've never been able to understand.
What's that?
You fish in the ponds and stuff, you know, you got to fight the turtles off your bait all the time. How does the turtle find your bait so fast as opposed to like a catfish? Turtle breathes air.
I have no idea.
But anybody that's ever fished a pond or a lake, they know the turtle problem.
Yep.
And it just amazes me how a turtle can be on your bait in less than 5 minutes.
Fish on.
Is he actually on?
Yep, he's actually on still. He's not a very big one, but he's a fish. I might actually boat flip this one. Little guy. Hold on, step up. I'm not gonna weigh this guy. There you go.
Let's
Another
see if my
fish.
bluegill's still alive.
See, your big bluegill is still alive.
Let's see if he is. Oh yeah, he's kicking. He ain't happy.
Putting the fillet on.
Fillet. You know what I might do? I probably ought to move up into this creek mouth just a bit more where it's narrower.
There you go.
That way I'm, anything that is going in and out of that creek be more apt to be in their way.
On my flasher rig has an empty hook.
Huh. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to move up into that creek mouth just a bit more where it narrows up.
That's all the rest of the bait I've got. I got 2 head pieces, 2 fillets, and a huge body section of a shad out there.
Nice.
The huge body section and the huge body section I put closer to the bank because there's some structure over there. The headpiece, the bigger headpiece of the bigger shad, I put on the flasher rig because I found that's pretty successful. The flasher rig and the headpieces. The one fillet I'm suspending. The other fillet is out in the channel, and then the other headpiece is on the ledge.
Okay. Sounds good. Plan. Matt, what is up? Yeah, Chris is solo. We're all solo tonight.
What's up, Matt? Hope you're feeling better, buddy. Just heard about your predicament.
Aw, really? Gonna start raining on me now?
Matt said, Chris, you should move up into the creek mouth.
Genius.
It's more narrow. You're welcome.
Oh, got a bunch of jokers.
Well, Matt, you missed. We had a I just caught a smaller blue just a little bit ago, and then I caught a 33 pound blue about an hour and a half in.
Yep, Chris and I are still after our first fish.
Get it.
I'll tell you what, though, I'm definitely
Go ahead.
dragging back to the dock though. If I'm stuck using the trolling motor, I might as well fish.
If Chris is gonna, if Chris would ever move into that creek mouth where it narrows,
Here we go.
You're welcome.
There's a bunch of life here too. We're in 30 feet now.
Turdy.
They ended up in second place. Jody and James came in first, and I came in third.
Yeah, his name was Scott. Yes. And yes, we did come in second place with just over 50 pounds with 2 fish.
Yeah, Jody and James came in first. They had 5 fish, and then I came in. Like I said, I came in third, and I had 5 fish.
Big, big, big dead shad right behind my boat.
Yeah, it was a good day for the James and Tennessee River, Matt. Not so much for the Yo-Yo River.
No, it was a horrible day. Hasn't been much better tonight.
Oh, Chris, that storm that you were worried about getting stuck in?
It never happened.
Yeah, I got stuck in one instead.
Oh,
With just my trolling motor. It was blowing so hard that I almost threw the anchor so I wouldn't blow further away from the dock because I was not gaining any ground. It was
that's
insane for
scary.
about about 10 minutes.
That's a scary feeling. You get stuck in a storm.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, I was looking at the clouds and like, oh hey, cool, it's drifting. It's drifting to my right, so no problem. And then literally, basically, as soon as I said that, Chrissy said there's like 8 minutes left. The wind shifted into my face, and I could just see this wall of rain coming at me. Like, oh no.
That's how I felt when I was out at Chester Frost.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say the same thing. I was like, that's kind of reminds me of Chester Frost. We were sitting at camp, looking across the lake, and we could see the rain. And then Telly and Megan were saying something about it, and I was like, "Don't talk about it. You'll call it over here." And next thing we knew, it was on us.
Yep.
I was so we had only been back to camp for like 20 minutes. We were out on the water 20 minutes prior to that.
Right.
I was so glad we came back in because we were going to go out and start dragging baits. And I was like, nah, let's not do it because we know there's some rain coming later. But it was supposed to be like an hour later.
Right. Not 20 minutes.
Yeah. And that storm that blew through camp was not on the radar.
One of the first gatherings that I went to, I guess it was the first one because I think I've been to all of them. But it was the first time I got to fish with Jody, and literally it was going to be me, Jody, Shayna, and Josie. Well, I had Josie in her life jacket. We literally just got here, and all of a sudden, this random cell just popped up right over the boat ramp. And we ended up finding a babysitter for Josie because we didn't know how cold it was going to end up getting, which it got cold. I'm glad we found a babysitter for her. But yeah, we ended up just sitting at the boat ramp waiting to see if it go away first because it just came out of nowhere, like you said. I swear, weather prediction is like the one technology that they need to be improved that hasn't improved at all in the last decade.
I agree.
I think they should at least get to where all these weather apps show you the same thing.
That too. I will say I have two, and I use Google too. I try to use all three, and I go by. If they all say it's going to rain at some point, then okay, it's going to rain. You know what I mean? But if they all say, "Hey, one's going to rain, one's not going to rain, and one's going to do something else," well, then I know it's going to be an absolute crapshoot.
You know, the bad thing is I think I've only got about 1 cup of coffee left.
Oh,
You got a long night ahead of you.
Well, I drank half of it this morning. Probably should
exactly,
have
man.
filled
Exactly.
Telly's. I should have filled Telly's thermos up as well and brought them both. What I should have done.
Well, there's either a giant pot of gar going underneath my back transducer, or there's a big ball of shad. One of the two. My guess is gar, though. At this point, I wouldn't be opposed to fighting.
So one thing we hadn't talked about as far as anchor fishing is the rigs that you like to use when you're anchor fishing.
Good point.
I like to have uh, Carolina rigs and Santee Cooper rigs out. And then if I notice like they're taking the baits with no float, then I'll switch them all over to no float.
That's basically the same thing I do. I will say one thing I don't do. I know some people are like, "Oh, I'm just gonna throw a heavy weight and roll with it." I like to use the lightest weight I can get away with.
I'll do that. What I find most of the time when there's current, I almost always have to go with sixes and eights. Sixes I'll throw straight behind the boat, and the eights I'll throw out to the side. And even the eights, like right now, if I went out in the main current, an eight's not going to hold. It'll end up right back behind the boat.
Right. I know when I fish the gorge on a normal day, not the today day, but a normal day, I usually use 3 ounces. No roll, 3 ounce no roll. But if I'm suspending while I'm anchored, I'll use in between an 8 or a 12. Because I want that bait to be right below where the rod is.
Catfish dog.
Tim, what's up?
What's up, brother? Thanks for coming in. Rowdy Royal said I just used the rock on the stump method.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the weather rock. It's 100% accurate.
Now, one thing that I've been meaning to try, and I know like Hagen Grubbs does it a lot when he's anchor fishing, is basically you're setting it up like a bumping rig where your anchor is below your hook, on your swivel. I mean, not
Yeah.
your anchor, your sinker.
Wait.
And that to me makes really good sense. When it makes the casting better because the weight's going out first. And then once it's down there and you reel the slack up, now you've picked your bait up off the bottom.
Right. I know when I'm fishing really heavy rocks like below a dam, that's the kind of rig I prefer to use in my live bluegills there is or cut bait even for that matter, but like you said, 3-way.
You could even use a lighter line on your sinker. That way, if it does snag up, it breaks away easy.
Yep. I'd say I usually use between 30 and 50 pound main line, and then like a sinker line is usually like 12 pound.
Matt said he don't see many people using cannonball weights for suspending while anchored.
I do.
You can use them.
I'm not using them tonight because, like I said earlier, I'm lazy and I already had 8-ounce coin sinkers on. But I like to use
Okay.
the cannonball when I'm suspending, especially if I'm suspend drifting, because the coin sinkers will spin with current, and I don't like that it has that opportunity to catch my line and spin my line up, or I don't know if it's making any weird vibration. I like to use the cannonballs because I know they're not going to spin around on me, and if they do, they're smooth around. They're not going to make any kind of weird vibration or catch my line. But I keep 10 and 12-ounce cannonballs in my box all the time just for suspend drifting.
Yeah, I've never tried it with the cannonball, but I usually have easier time finding the big egg sinker. Egg sinkers.
Well, I bought a bunch when Brad was making sinkers. I bought a bunch of 8s, 10s, and 12s. I've got lots of them.
Speaking of those Freddy rods, especially the bait casting ones, really handle those 12-ounce sinkers nice.
Yes, they do.
Usually that's what I have on my the 4 yak and youth rods. I have is the 12-ounce egg sinkers.
I think there's something else down there playing with my bait.
Oh, there's fish jumping right next to the boat.
Fish, shad, and white bass absolutely blowing past the boat right now.
I love white bass. That's my absolute favorite bait.
You know, I've never caught anything on one. It's definitely something I want to give more effort into, though. You know, another one I've never caught anything on. I've never seen anybody else catch them either, or on them rather, is a yellow bass. I've never seen anybody catching a yellow bass.
Yellow bass are good too. They just don't get very big.
Right.
Yeah, we have white perch here on the James. Certain times of the season, I like using those. But for the most part, I use gizzard shad.
Well, usually my preferred is skipjack because it bleeds longer. But I have had a very hard time trying to get a hold of any of that this year with any kind of consistency.
Tough. It's good.
Got a big head piece down that flasher rig, and something keeps pulling the line down.
Oh, Mark's in here. What's up, Mark?
What's going on, Mark?
Boy,
Says he hates bass. Tim, no, it is not permanent. Well, I say that. It depends on how bad the case is. It also depends on if I keep getting bit by another one. But no, generally speaking, you grow out of it. The longest confirmed case of it's been 22 years, but most people only have it for a year or two.
Matt, the biggest white perch I've caught, I've never weighed them. I caught one as big as my hand. Actually, it was bigger than my hand. Mark said they catch them by the. I do not like this, Sam. I am. They catch them on the by the sled full ice fishing here. They take them right to the dumpster.
Yeah, I've never heard of anybody eating one before, so I have no idea what it tastes like or anything. Wow, that's a weird looking mark.
Matt, they can. The white perch can get that big. Yes, I've caught some big ones.
In my experience, no, they don't get as big as shell crackers. They generally are like a medium bluegill size.
I need to mute and turn my camera off for a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Oh, I think that was actually a fish hit. That's the first one I've seen all night.
Hey, look at that. It's Mrs. Yak saying, how's it going?
It's going good. Well, for Dustin anyway.
We're all part of the same show.
I meant because you catch a fish.
Well, something keeps biting my line or my bait and then letting it go.
Yeah, he caught a 33 and an 8.
Yep. Well, I caught a 33. I didn't weigh the smaller one.
Oh, okay.
The 8 was what I caught today or this morning.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Well, Scott caught. We caught the 41 and the half and the 8.5, something like that.
Right.
Tonight I caught the 33 and then the smaller one, probably about 3 pounds.
And Tim, it's not that I can't have any meat. It just means that I can't have any mammal-based meat. Some people have it worse than I do. Dustin was talking about earlier. Some people can't drink milk or eat cheese. I don't have it that bad, thankfully.
I've actually got a friend who can't have anything that's made with any kind of beef bone or beef broth or anything that's got beef in it. You would be surprised on what they put beef, like crushed up beef bone in.
Lots of stuff.
Yep, almost everything.
Well, and like almost all the chicken and turkey sausages, almost all of that has some sort of beef something in it in some form or fashion. The only turkey sausage I can get a hold of currently that I can safely eat is the skin. Well, let me rephrase. The only smoked poultry sausage is the skinless one, because even the skinned ones use beef casings.
Huh.
Apparently, my wife said some people can't even eat chicken because the carginin. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that is. Yeah, apparently it can be a lot worse than I have it, thankfully. Or not thankfully, sadly, but thankfully I don't have it.
Beef intestine.
Yep. Oh, gotcha.
See, Mark said I thought most sausage used pork casing.
Well, and maybe it does, but most of the poultry sausage, if you look at the ingredients for all the ones that they sell at Walmart, almost every single one of them has uses a beef casing.
Mike also said we must have our ribeyes every now and then.
The worst thing about getting that when it happened, so I thought maybe I had a blackberry allergy. I knew I had a tick bite. I didn't know what kind of tick. I knew it was a tick bite, and it's quite common for somebody to get a tick bite and then develop like a one and done allergy to a fruit or a vegetable.
Right.
Apparently, and I had kind of a vague knowledge of that. But I had blackberry cobbler that same day as I had those brats. And the reaction I had was almost immediately after I had the cobbler. So that's what made me think cobbler, right?
Right.
So, I go to the hospital. They agree with me that it's got to be the blackberry. Go to an allergist the following Monday, and he said, hey, there's no scratch test for blackberry. So we'll have to do a blood test. But we'll go ahead and do a scratch test for what we can do. And get a couple blood tests. Well, I had been pumped with so much antihistamine because those highs were so bad that they couldn't actually do the scratch test that day. So they took 3 vials of blood to do the blood tests, one of which would have been blackberry, because again they didn't have a scratch test for it. One which would have been alpha gal because the doctor's like, "What'd you eat that day?" And I told him, he's like, "I'm gonna test for that because I think it's that." And then something else. But I was so convinced it was blackberry that I told Shayna, in a week when I can do the scratch and sniff tests or whatever, I'm getting a burger because the Five Guys is right next to his office. You know what I mean? So all week I'm jonesing for this burger. And then I show up for the appointment after he had already sent my wife the results. And he's like, "Yeah, you got Alpha Gal, no burger." And I was like, "Man, it was awful. It was just honestly a real kick in the balls, really, for lack of better phrasing."
I bet.
Yeah, I did. No, I can't. I can literally eat fish, poultry, or birds, fruits and vegetables. That's it. I can't eat any kind of mammal meat at all. But that particular day when I went in the hospital, it was the brats that put me in the hospital.
We can get the plant-based burger, can't we?
I don't know, to be honest with you, because I don't know 100% how it's made. I don't know if it starts, because it's supposed to be vegetable based. It doesn't say only vegetable, right? Or plant based.
Well, I would think that if they're advertising it as
Vegan or
vegan, it can't have any animal products in it.
Again, you would think. I don't know. I haven't looked into it enough. It hasn't been bad enough for me to go that route yet. Let me put it that way.
I've had some of those plant-based burgers. They're not that bad. Some of them are not bad at all.
I really like some of the black bean burgers, but it's still not a burger. It's just a sandwich for me at that point. But the other thing is, like, especially with the fast food places, like the Impossible Whopper or whatever, I have to worry about cross contamination at that point more than anything.
yeah.
I will say mine is bad enough that I cooked steaks for my wife and my mother-in-law for Mother's Day. And I broke out.
Oh wow.
So some people can even just walk in a restaurant that's cooking it and break out because the fats when they're grilling it or whatever it vaporizes. Not that I wanted tonight's show to go into everything I know about my medical problems, but
It happens.
But it's definitely an eye opener. And Shane does make a good point. I did when my throat started itching really bad. I felt like I had a frog in my throat. I went and took a Claritin, and the ER doctor said I saved my life because he thinks I would have died if I hadn't done that.
Oh wow.
Because I was trying to just fight. Huh?
Do you need to carry an EpiPen because of this?
I do now. Well, except for the fact they're in Florida. Are they? No, they're back home now. We lost them in Florida on accident with Shayna's friend that we went to Disney with. So they're bringing it back up for me because they couldn't ship them in the mail because they won't survive the heat in the back of the trucks.
Catfish dog said, "Hey, at least you got chicken. I could live with that."
Chicken is okay. Luckily, chicken can be flavored in just about any way imaginable, so it does help. And I like fish. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's not as big of a deal for me in that regard, but fish gets expensive. Unless you like eating just cod and whitefish all day. Or every day, rather.
Well, catch you some catfish and eat them.
I have done that already. I fried up 2 a while back. Or no, it was just 1, but I made 2 different recipes with it. And Josie liked both of them.
Nice.
Dana was okay with one of them, but only okay. I agree, Matt. No, Matt, it was not an instant reaction. So the thing with Alpha Gal, I was telling everybody earlier, it's not a You're not allergic to it itself. You're allergic to the reaction of the enzyme that the tick puts in your body reacting to the protein in mammal meat. That byproduct from that reaction is what you're allergic to. So actually, it took 3 hours for me to go into shock, roughly, because we had lunch and then waited a while, played some cards and stuff, and then I had the cobbler. And it was right after the cobbler. That's why I thought it was blackberries, but it wasn't. But yeah, so it could be several hours later. It's a very delayed thing. And the other thing is that sucks about it. It's not most allergies are an every time reaction, right? Like if you ever get around it or ever touch it, you're breaking out, you're gonna die, whatever, right? That syndrome, because of what else you do during the day, there's so many variables. There's some cases where you eat something the one day that triggers it, you eat the same thing the next day, not knowing that's what it was, and you're fine. And then you do it the next day and you break out and die again or whatever, It's an anytime reaction rather than an every time reaction. They know so little about it. And other than a lifestyle change, there's no cure for it. You just have to wait it out. Nice, Mike. Mark, I hope you enjoyed it, man. Yeah, Matt, yeah. Rhonda is definitely different for sure. I'm sorry you have to deal with it too.
She
I mean,
said
that's
she's
fair.
20 years in. Wow.
I'm about to say the longest documented case that I've heard of is 22 years. But like I said, the doctor said normally it's just a couple of years. He did tell me, he's like, I don't know how long you're going to have it because your level's so high. I'm like, what does that mean? And he said that the people that do the testing that he usually does on usually range between 30 and 50. And mine maxed out the test, which is at 100. So we'll see. Come on, fish, man. I see one. You gave me 10 earlier. Why can't I have one?
I just need one more.
We always need one more, right?
Well, what I really need is whatever's biting my bait to stop it and make sure a catfish gets in there. Because I think every one of these rod tips has gone down, and then as soon as I stand up, it pops right back up. It's
Right.
probably gar.
Man, I am marking so much stuff right now. It's in every part of the water column except for what I'm fishing, though. Like that's a gar mark there, but there's bass, there's bait. Imagine some of these are stripers.
Rhonda said she does not have what you have, but no doctor can tell her what it is. So hopefully yours will go away quickly.
I hope so. And I appreciate that.
Matt wants to know, Chris, how's the flop 20 working?
That box is awesome. So I put all this live bait in there Friday morning, approximately 9 a.m. I had, I'm going to say 8 to 10 big bluegill, probably at least 10 big creek chub and shiners. I've ran it on just low because there's a high, a low, and an intermittent. I've just put it on low and I've closed the lid. And one thing I didn't show on Dustin's channel the other day, there's an ice pack that fits into the lid when you close it.
Oh, nice.
That's nice.
It helps keep the water cold. The water has been, when I got out here tonight and checked it, the water was still approximately 65 degrees.
Oh, wow.
And I haven't lost a single fish. And right now the battery is, there's still 3 out of 4 lights on that battery.
Wow.
Does it just aerate and recirc, or does it do something else?
It doesn't recirculate. It's just got a bubble stone in the bottom of the cooler.
Huh.
Now I did put some G juice in there when I put the fish in, but I haven't changed the water. That's not true. When I first put the fish in, I left them in there for about 3 or 4 hours, and they dirtied the water up real bad. I took the fish out, changed the water. So about noon or 1 o'clock Friday, I changed the water out and put the G juice in, just to get all the nastiness out from when they were first put in.
Right.
And I haven't done anything. I just keeping the lid closed the whole time and been doing great.
Nice.
I kind of want to just keep them in there just to see how long. Number one, how long will the battery run on low? And number two, will the fish stay alive the whole time? But I know I'd end up feeling bad if those fish died just because I was experimenting.
Sure.
But what I'll do tomorrow is I'll end up putting those in the pool pond.
Right. You know, the best experiments are the ones you forget about, like those salties I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
We bought a dozen or 2 dozen of them, and I put them in the driveway because I was gonna go fishing the next day, and then we didn't go, and I completely forgot about them for about a month.
Woo.
There was still 4 of them alive.
Wow.
A month later. Yeah.
One thing I told Telly I'm probably going to do is I'm going to get back on their website, Flopbox website. I'm going to order another one of those ice packs. So, like if I catch bait, say I catch bait on a Thursday and I'm not going to fish till Friday night,
Right.
I can keep that ice pack in there until I know that it's not ice pack anymore, and then I can have one in the freezer to swap it out. Just swap out the ice pack like every 24 hours or something.
Sure.
What I ended up doing on Friday night before I went to bed, I put the ice pack in the freezer, but I keep the smart water bottles. I freeze them.
Yeah.
And I put a smart water bottle in the water overnight. And then when I got up Saturday morning to come down here, I put my ice pack back in the cooler.
One way to do it.
It's a heavy little cooler though. When it's full of water, it's heavy. I mean, it's
Sure.
I'm figuring I probably got 3.5, 4 gallons of water in it.
Sure. And the wind shifted direction again.
The coolers, it's like a Yeti type cooler, same kind of cooler as this. Well, you can't see it, but this Lifetime.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're heavy anyway,
Right. Yeah, we got these 2 igloos for the boat. I've been pretty impressed with them. They're only rated for 3 days on ice, but more than enough for me.
Yeah, I tend to not. If I'm gonna, I used to catch bait early, But it's got to the point where I know I can get fresh bait every time I come out here, so I don't need a bait cooler. The only reason I have my bait cooler, my angle on here, is because it has rod holders on the sides of it, and I use it for my extra rods and my net.
Nice. Yeah, I usually if I'm getting bait early, it's bluegill specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same for me. Bluegill, creek chub, stuff like that, you know.
Stuff you can't buy.
Yeah, it'll be interesting for like if I take it to the gathering where I know we're going to be there for a week
Uh-huh.
because I'm not going to be able to keep. I'll probably just have to change the water out twice a day or something just to keep it cool.
You
Right.
can put your ice packs in our freezer if you want.
Will Paisley let me do that?
I think she might nibble on your toe, but
So wait, does Paisley not like you? Is that what the deal is?
No, Paisley loves me.
Okay, I was about to say I was getting mixed ideas, I guess.
In Paisley's defense, she loves everybody.
She does.
But I will
No,
say that each time she saw Telly, she had to lick her in the face.
she did too.
No, yeah, Paisley and Chris are best friends.
I got you.
Besties.
It was the nibble on toes part I was wondering about.
Besties till the end.
Come
Mark said,
on, bitch.
Mark said he got his wife to eat bluegill tacos last week.
Nice.
Ooh. Down the river, I don't know, 30 miles maybe,
Uh-huh.
is Madison, Indiana.
Okay.
Madison, I don't know if they're still doing it or not. They used to have a regatta every year. It was a big deal. But anyway, there's a restaurant. Actually, it's a bar. I can't remember the name of it, but they have crawfish tacos at this bar, and they're amazing.
Nice. But I did eat some crawfish when I was in Louisiana a couple weeks ago.
I have never had crawfish.
I think it's worth having once.
Matt said he got mixed emotions from Paisley. I think that says more about you than it does her, Matt. Tim said crappie egg rolls. Hello.
Why not?
Mike Chavez said I'll be making Asian style wings tomorrow inside of the store or out of the storms.
Nice.
Hey, Cold Creek Billy, what's going on?
Billy.
Mrs. Yak said I am the bluegill queen.
She is. She's the only person I know that go fishing for bluegill and hook a 6-foot sturgeon. I
I'll
feel you put
say
that video up.
I've always fished for bluegill on a bobber until I went to Tennessee and I fished with Daryl. He just puts a little J hook and a couple split shots and fishes on the bottom for him.
That's
Yeah,
how Freddie fishes for him too.
I'd never done that before.
that's how my grandma prefers to fish for him.
I
Usually I
caught
fish.
some that way too.
I actually like using a drop shot. And I found the Bass Pro on here carries I think it's a size 8 circle hook.
I just bought some of those and they're amazing.
Yes. No
I
more
told
gut
you
hook in
about
there.
those, didn't I?
You did.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I love using those for bluegill.
I imagine they'd be good for trout and stuff too, because trout are notorious for getting gut hooked.
I was catching creek chubs 2 inches long on those hooks.
Nice.
Nice.
Where'd you get them from?
I ordered them off the internet.
From a specific place or Amazon?
I'm pretty sure it was Bass Pro.
Okay. Because they're hard to find.
Oh, that's where I got mine from, was Bass Pro, but they actually have them in stock.
I ordered the Gamakatsu.
Yep.
Size 8.
Yeah, I think the smallest they sell in store here is a size 6.
We need to see if Freddie can stock those.
That would be awesome.
It would be awesome.
So they're
He needs
easier
to
to
get
find.
He needs to get the Archie crankbaits back in stock.
Catfish Dog said I caught big gills on number 6 circle hooks.
Oh, I believe
So let
me.
me ask you this, Dustin.
Yeah.
Do you snell them?
I do.
I also do.
I do too. I do too. And with my old eyes, it was a little bit difficult.
Fair enough.
But in my opinion, that's the whole like the circle hook was designed for that kind of action.
I will say they do okay. I've done it where I've had to do it with a regular knot, not a snell. They do better than a J hook in terms of not gut hooking still, even with a regular knot, at least on the drop shot. Because the drop shot, you're really doing a dropper loop in order to make that work. Oh,
Yeah.
hang on. What is that? Motor made a funny sound.
Uh-oh.
I may pull up and start heading back to the dock. I don't want to get stranded.
Yes, please. Matt says Walmart carries them once in a while. Drop shot circle hooks. Yeah, I went to Walmart. I've been to Walmart. I looked at Bass Pro Shop. I looked at Gander Mountain. I looked on Amazon. I just can't. It's hard to find the size 8 circle hooks.
Wait, you got a Gander Mountain still?
I think so.
Wow, I'd say they got rid of our Gander Mountain.
Yeah, you got ours too.
They might have. I think I've only been there once. Mike Chavez said I used to catch many a gills and crappie on jigs.
Well,
I've seen that too.
I think jigs are the next best option in terms of avoiding gut hooking.
Now, I still like my 1/64th ounce jig heads and my 1-inch gulp minnow.
You know, I've never used those. I need to, I guess, but I've
I love it.
never used them.
I love them.
I like the 3-inch gulp minnows and the 2.5-inch gulp minnows. That's my go-to for just about anything else. Walleye, small white bass.
I'm so tired.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hitting the hay. Just for a few hours because Joe's gonna be up about 4 hours after I go to bed, probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna go home, take a shower. Actually, I got to go drop the boat off first, and then go home and take a shower, and then go to bed. I probably won't get into bed till about 4 o'clock.
Well, I'm leaving the boat attached to the truck till tomorrow.
I could, but like I said, I got storms coming tomorrow, and I'll probably sleep through the morning.
Like I said, I gotta pick up my EpiPens for the rest of the week.
I'm going to freshen up some bait since we have plenty.
Are you gonna go live after this show, Chris, or are you just gonna go out there, stay out there and fish?
No, I'm not going live.
Gotcha. Just gonna enjoy the night air, huh?
Yep.
Some days you just need it, man.
Hear them?
Yeah,
Hear them flopping on the boat?
I do. On the deck.
Yep, on the deck.
Let's see. Mike Chavez said my favorite crappie jig was the V32 ounce gig head and a black and chartreuse tube.
Tubes are something I've never really had good luck with.
Hey, yeah, sure.
Sure.
Your wife said, Anthony, I don't know if you got the alert on your phone, but Josh was just in a minor car accident, but he's fine.
If I did get the alert, I didn't see it. But I'm glad he's fine. I don't know how
Look at
many
that big
more
old
wrecks you
creek
can get in
chub.
with that car.
That big old creek chub.
Yeah, it's big.
I can lip him.
It's pretty. So the biggest. That's one thing I do
Show
miss.
that again. Show that again, Chris. I put you on full screen.
That's one thing I miss about Michigan was catching big creek chubs. I swear
It's
I caught
really
at
not
least
even
one.
that big. There's bigger ones in there.
About to say the biggest one I ever caught was close to 12 inches long. It's the first fish I hooked to the tongue. I remember very distinctly because it was impossible to get unhooked.
All right, we got 3 minutes. Anything else? Anything else anybody wants to add for anchor fishing?
In the end, it is just fishing. It's just another tactic of fishing. So just enjoy it. You'll figure things out as you go. It's not worth getting frustrated over.
One thing I think we didn't bring up is, sometimes when you're dealing with wind or slack tide or combination of the both or whatever, and you throw your front anchor out, your back end of your boat can sway sometimes.
Right.
But one way to avoid that is to have a second anchor. Palmetto Cats did a good job when I was watching him early on, and he explained it and walks you through double anchoring, where you throw one anchor out, you let all the rope out, and then you throw the other anchor out, and you back off, you pull the first one you threw out, you pull about half of the rope back in, so now both anchors are about halfway, on half of their rope, so it's equidistant apart. But some people do that. Some people can just throw a back anchor down and just let it settle on the bottom to keep your boat from swaying, depending on how bad the wind is. But
Well, and you make a good point. I think most people don't realize you want to use more anchor rope than you think you need to use. I've learned many a times that you want to use more rope than rather than less.
Yeah, because if you're having a problem anchoring or your anchor sticking, you want to let more rope out.
Right. Yeah, I learned that one the hard way several times before I figured it out.
Yep.
Another very important thing if you're sitting on anchor for a while, don't forget to pull your anchor up before you move.
I've done that
Yeah,
before.
I've done that too. Yep. If you get one of those self bubble lifting anchor things, don't cut it with your motor.
What, is Daryl in here?
No, but I just letting people know.
Yeah, they do make those the anchor balls, but I find them to be more hassle than they are help.
Yeah, I think a lot of the things that they do for convenience like that usually are.
And if you're not using an anchor but you're spot locking, don't forget to turn your spot lock off before you try to move because your motor doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Same if you use a heading lock or well, I don't know about the newer ones. I don't know if they do it or not. Mine, if you have the heading lock on, it still tries to spin the shaft when you lift it out of the water.
No, I'm talking about you're on spot lock and you start your motor and start to move.
So I got bad signal right here.
I've done it. The trolling motor doesn't like it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is 2 a.m. Thanks again for fishing with me, Dustin and Chris.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you to Lisa for reading the comments as long as she could till she ran out of hotspot because she was not at her house. And thanks to was it Justin that came in and read? Joshua, sorry. Thanks to Joshua for coming to read and chat for a little while there too. Appreciate each and every one of you. We'll do it again next weekend. I don't know for sure what the topic is yet. It kind of depends on if I get my boat fixed or not. If I don't, it'll be dragging. If I do, then it might be something else. So, and thanks to Dustin for hosting it after the other one wasn't working. I imagine this is probably the route we'll go with going forward. And yeah. Anything else you guys want to add before we go?
Nope. I think we've pretty much said it all. Other than thank you for everybody that came into chat tonight and everybody that stuck with us. We still got 22 people in here with us at 2:00 in the morning. So thank y'all so much. Hope somebody learned something. Once again, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Tell Miss Sharon I said hello. But I hope somebody learned something. If you ever have any questions, you can reach out to myself at teamsnaggingwhiskers@gmail.com, or you can reach out to Yak at
Yak Shore Outdoors at yahoo.com because that hasn't changed.
There you go. So thank you again, Chris, for coming up. Appreciate it. Hope you have a wonderful night fishing. Hope you catch some monsters.
Thanks for allowing me.
Hopefully, he doesn't dream. Hopefully, he doesn't dream about the beeping.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hopefully, he's not too traumatized. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much, and we will talk to everybody next week.
Yep. See ya.
Later.
Later.